You should really try therapy. You need to leave the relationship. Have you considered going back to school? If a social worker ever said those things to a client, that's not social work. That's advice giving. And there's a huge, huge difference. Hey, y'all. I know that segment was kind of like, what is she talking about? But as it's being social work month and me being social work, I want to kind of come on here today and do one of my favorite videos. It'll be the introduction to how I sometimes craft my questions when I am in sessions. Because this is how social workers should actually talk to people. What does a communication look like? And why does it matter so much? I want to get into it, if you don't mind. So you have like the foundation and the unconditional positive regard. Before I even get to the technique, I need to talk about the mindset. Social workers are trained to approach people without judgment. That doesn't mean we agree with everything. It means that we don't let our personal opinions about someone's choices interfere with our ability to help. You know, um, that's called unconditional positive. Regard, a concept from Carl Rogers. So I'm giving you a little, giving you a little history here, and it is the foundation of everything that we kind of do, you know. Um, then we have the open-ended question, which is one of my kind of favorite questions that I'm always ask my clients. One of the first things you learn in social work school is the difference between open-ended questions and closed questions. A closed question is like, "Are you okay?" Yes or no. The competition is like completely over. And an open-ended question you have, like, how have you been feeling lately? Now that gives more dialogue. It has a room to be able to talk more. So we are like trained to ask questions that invite people to share rather than shut down. And that takes practice because in everyday life we are asked closed-ended questions all the time. Kind of think about it without even realizing it. I know, I know. I give you moments to think about that. I know. Um, then we have another type of section that I like to discuss real quickly. We don't tell you what to do. This surprises a lot of people because when I am in sessions and I am in dialogue, people are always asking me, what should I do? As a social worker, it's a surprise. We're not supposed to, not surprised, we're not supposed to give advice the way a friend would. Instead of saying you should leave, I would have said, or might have said, what would it look like for you if you did things a little differently? Or what has felt more difficult about the situation? We help people arrive at their own conclusion. We create these open the question, we create this dialogue, we create this space to become more critical thinking, you know, because when you decide something, you're more likely to act on it. When I tell you what, when I tell you what to do and it doesn't work, now you resent me. Now you find the situation is not helpful. And that's not the goal. The goal is to be able to create this momentum, create this space, this opportunity where you are able to critically think, have options, because I would create options, you know, we have these things and these things, and you could be able to say, okay, this was what work, you know, and it's more helpful to do. Then, of course, we have creating a safe space. A lot of our work is about environment, physically and emotionally. Can this person trust me? Do you feel judged? Is there enough privacy to be able to speak honestly? Is my body language open? Am I making eye contact, without it being too intense? Am I reflecting back what I'm hearing so that I'm actually listening? All of this is intentional. And we are trained to be fully present, not just go through the motions. And you'll feel, you'll see it. There's a difference between actually hearing someone and actually listening. our clients will feel a difference and they will tell you the difference. um, then we have how does group work actually work? Group work is a whole different skill set because you have 3, 4, 5, 10 different personalities in the group. In group therapy or support groups, the social worker is not the only helper in the room. The group members help each other. You know, if you've ever heard of those forming, storming, non-performing, that's dealing with group work. The social worker facilitates. We hold the space. We redirect when things get out off track, for instance. We make sure everyone feels heard, not just the loudest voices in the room. It's like being a conductor. You're not playing the instrument, you're coordinating the music, you know. Then we have, say communication is just not something social workers do. It's something that we're trained in deeply. And honestly, these skills make you a better human in any relationship that you're in, not just professionally, but personally too. Um, let's think about times where you didn't feel heard from a significant other. It were times that you didn't feel heard from your best friends, from your parents, or they are not around to listen, or they not paying attention. Any of those aspects, or you're conversating with someone and it's one-ended, and it's always one-sided, you know. Put that in perspective at your personal life, If this video helped you and you see social work a little differently, please share it and drop your comments in the box. Um, and has a social worker or counselor ever said anything that made you shift differently? I want to hear it. In my next video, I'll be getting into the hard truths about the systems, the mindset, the social workers inside these mindsets. That one is real, y'all. So stay tuned and see you. Happy Workers Month. And this is totally a vibe check. Peace.